welcome to Metaphysical Today. I'm Aeson with our co-host, the glamorous Hazel Firefly from the UK. How are you, darling?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? And what I will say is, welcome to our first show on this network.
On this network, which will be every Monday at 5, unless I'm taking a day off. There's a few Mondays I'm going to have to take off.
Excuse me, it's Monday at 5 for you, but it's Monday at 10 p.m. for me.
Yes, I know.
Because we need to it around the globe.
Yes, we are an international network. For our new viewers, welcome to PCSP Network. This is where the House of the Coffee Shop starts. That was our founding show. And then we've grown, and now we've gone up to having a show every day on this network, except Wednesdays and Saturdays, excluding the last Saturday of the month where we do have the energy overview. So be sure to do your liking, your subscribing, your reacting, and of course, since this is a new show, we need some sharing in there too.
Definitely. Come on, guys, get it out there.
Yeah.
And Brenda, thank you very much for the welcome.
Yes.
The first show of many. You'll be sick of me by the end of the year.
Better, you'll just take over all the spots and we'll be so happy.
So how has your week been after your disastrous week last week?
This week has been better, a little bit more challenging. Hello, Devin, darling. How are you?
Hi, Devin.
Got some doctor appointments scheduled. You know, it's time for my 500,000 mile tune-up. Yes, the MMT to occur. So, you know, we'll be doing that. That's the reason the show will be impacted one day this month.
That's fine. Just let me know. I'm looking forward to Friday because I get my B12 jab.
And then you'll be buzzing around like a little bee.
I will. Everything will be done in a matter of hours.
Yay. We get all different up and organized. So, each week we're going to be talking about the topic. This week's topic is the ebb and flow of relationships. How it's not always fireworks.
No. Anybody that says they go through life without an argument with their partner are bloody liars.
Yes.
I think arguments keep the spark there as well.
Well, not only that, but it keeps it healthy.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
All right.
I see Devin have had a hard day.
Yeah, Devin, we're glad you're home. We know you've had a lot of shifts and a lot of work here lately. Things are going to be picking up, I'm sure. So that'll be fun, and you know you'll get with it, and things will calm down.
Yeah, it's about getting everything into routine and getting the balance between two.
Right.
I suppose there is that to it as well, Brenda.
Yeah.
The dynamics of relationships are weird and wonderful.
They are.
They say opposites attract. I believe in that 100%.
I do too. I also believe that you've got to have some foundational steps. Hello, Miss Shannon. How are you? Grab your coffee, have a little seat. You've got to have foundation. And I think that gets skipped a lot during this modern age.
Yeah.
You know, we skip the courting events. We skip the events of, you know, things not being situated properly. And then when you run into problems, and, you know, then we have this problem I call the Cinderella effect.
Go on, you tell me what yours is, and I'll tell you what mine is.
My Cinderella effect is you meet the dude, You find the dude, you find the girl, it's all perfect, happily ever fucking after. Until the bills aren't paid, the house ain't clean, the jobs have problems, the children are driving everybody batty. You know, you go through these stages and they get so irrigated and so, you know, your life starts building and it gets in a swarm. And before you know it, Cinderella hasn't seen Prince Charming for 3 months because, you know, other than
Yeah,
to say, the children have been bad today. Have a talk with them. Here's
yeah,
dinner.
yeah. I always say, now I don't know if you call it the same over there, but the honeymoon period.
Mm-hmm.
People, why do they think the honeymoon period lasts forever? It don't.
Don't. But I think that there's phases of honeymoon period.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, you have the original honeymoon. You first meet. He's wonderful. Everything's good. You paint him with, you know, he's the perfect man for you. 3 months in, you're ready to kill him.
because he don't put the toilet seat down, he pisses all over the floor.
He leaves his socks in the living room. He doesn't shut doors. He forgets the milk at the diner. You know, whatever it
Yeah,
is, and then you're ready to just get rid of it. And it's
yeah,
like, no, that's not how you do this. You work your way through it. You get, you know, you teach him to sit on the
yeah,
toilet
yeah.
like most humans.
And that's the thing, that's the reality of a relationship.
Yeah,
You know, you argue, one storms out, comes back 10 minutes later and says, I'm sorry.
right.
And then you talk things through.
Yeah, but you know, I think people expect today to be this rom com of life, and it is not a rom com of life.
No, it's far from that.
Yeah,
All these films are made out to be massive fairy tales. They're
right,
films for a reason. They're
right,
not reality, they're made up.
right. And there's not always a happy ending. You don't always wake up every morning and love them. The only one, and I was thinking of this on the way home today, and I think it was a really good, realistic view. Have you ever seen The Notebook?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Synopsis is the dude falls in love with a woman that has a brain problem. Like she forgets every day. Like her day starts over
Yeah.
brand new and doesn't remember people. So they create a notebook for her to look at every morning to, and then he then has to fall in love with her again every day. Every day,
Yeah.
you know, she falls in love with him again. And I'm sorry, I think that is the best example of a good relationship. You have to fall
Yeah.
in love with them every day, at least a little. If you stop
The thing
falling in
is,
love with them, then you're done.
and that's the reality of some people's lives.
Yeah.
You know, one of my favourite films is Pretty Woman
Okay.
because it's so not reality as such here in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a film I really enjoy because it's got a bit of everything in,
Right.
even though it hasn't got the happy ending, well, you think, until the last few minutes.
Right.
But if you look at that, that's a relationship technically that they had to work at as well.
Exactly. And it takes continuing working at it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You know, and you
Like,
know, as the relationships grow on longer, yes, it does get harder to find fireworks. But that's when you get into that mode of in the morning, you wake up and you're like, I'm packing my shit and leaving. If I
yeah,
have to put up with him snoring one more time and still in the blankets one more time, I'm going to kill him.
yeah. It's like Shannon got the best idea.
Right.
He comes home for a few weeks. She tells him, go back to work. I'll see you next year. You
Yeah.
know, that's an ideal relationship.
Yeah. For someone that's very independent. The other
Yeah,
problem I find that happens is people become codependent
yeah, yeah,
way too much. And then, you know, when something changes, it blows up like a fireball.
yeah, yeah. I haven't had a partner for 8 or 9 years, and that's my own choice. Do you know why? Because I'm too bloody selfish.
See, I can't say that because I done the math one time, and I think it was like I've been in a continual relationship
Yeah,
for at least 22 years.
yeah,
Of one way or another, I am in a relationship. Currently, I'm in multiple relationships. They all know about each other. Don't be getting crazy. Read my bio. They all know about each other. They all gang the hell up on me. That's the reason I'm getting my fucking oil checked.
but for me, I love my life being single. I think it's because I've become too independent.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine sharing my bed with anyone now, apart from Parker when he comes to stay.
Uh-huh.
That's my little grandson, guys. He's 3.5 months old.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, for me, that's my life. That's what I enjoy. I got nobody telling me we need anything on the shopping list.
Mm-hmm.
And I just roll along.
Yeah. And that's perfectly fine for a lot of people. Other people like me, the shopping list is over there. You add it your own damn self or pick it up. I have, you know, with me even being in as many relationships as I am, is to, I'm still very independent. Like I have my own independent life. They fit into, and I do a lot of things independently. Like they aren't into it, or
Yeah,
one is and the other one isn't.
yeah.
Only way they can put up with Aeson is ship him off to another one when he gets too much to be too much. Laugh out loud. No, it's quite interesting for me. It's because they each have their own departments.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Techie Joe, you guys see him. He's the public husband. He does all the shows. He does all the postings. He's all over the place.
And
Invisible. Yeah,
you're gonna be nice to Techie Joe, or you got me to answer to.
well, I've got a lot of people to answer to. Okay, Invisible, you guys see once in a while. Me and him are normally like gaming. We interlink with that type of thing. I have another one that we are hiking, camping, fishing. The outdoor husband. They feel because like Techie Joe camping, nah,
No, no.
nah. Hiking, he'll go on a hike with me, but he's not going to do a 4-day backpack hike in the outer woods of West Virginia with just a backpack and a knife. That ain't him.
No, no.
Now, taking the invisible to the woods, he will think I have abandoned him, and he will think that he is, being left for dead. Because there is no internet. Let's be honest. He's a gamer. The boy has to have his internet. So I don't have to give up anything. Yeah, y'all guys thought that I was being mean to Techie Joe, and on the whole Patreon ganged up with pitchforks and was starting a fit, and I'm like, guys, he's okay. He just had neck surgery. He'll be back online. Chill.
Oh God, see.
Yeah,
See.
but I don't give up anything.
No, no.
And that's the benefits of a poly relationship, because I don't have to sacrifice anything.
Yeah.
In a monogamous relationship, you have to make compromises.
And I think that would be a big thing, because I think whoever came into my life would be jealous of the relationship I've got with the kids.
Probably not if they have their own.
That's a good point, actually. And I'm not
But
having
you bring
any
up
more.
a great point. You
And
bring up a good point.
My kids, they've only had me since they were born, practically.
Right.
And they will always be my number one. But some partners get jealous of that.
Right. Well, it's like any man I meet, I tell him point blank, my career comes first.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll have to get over that.
Yeah.
You are not the bombshell of my world. My
No.
career, my work comes first. It fills in the first blank, so then you guys get what's left.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And y'all guys can negotiate that. But, when you have children, no matter the age from diaper to retirement, they're going to come first in your life.
Yeah.
And a partner entering in has to understand that not only do they have to form a relationship with you, and that has to be the nuclear relationship is with you, but then they have to get to know your kids, and then
Yeah.
when you get to a certain age, your grandkids, and understand that they don't walk in and become instant dad, instant mom, instant friend. You got to get to know them. And I don't know about you, but I get so many people that come and they come like, well, he's doing this for his kids and he's doing that for his kids. And my comment back is, that's none of your business.
Yeah. Yeah. Because people always say to me, you do a lot for your kids. Yes, I do a lot for my kids, but I know when I'm elderly, my kids are going to look after me as well.
Right.
And like they say, oh, you have Parker a lot. I have Parker once a week for his parents to get a good night's sleep, because I know how difficult it was when I had
Right.
mine small. And people find that weird and a struggle.
See, and I don't get that because, you just have him once a week. It's not like you're raising him 6 days a week and he's
No.
home once for the parents.
No.
Yeah. And the other thing is negotiating conflicts. This is where people have a really hard time because they don't want to be flexible and go, I don't like hiking. You take off and go with, I don't know, Jay or Missy or whoever. They think that they have to negotiate that. They don't want to flex. They get so fearful of their same gender relationships, friendships. Like you being friends with me if you were dating a man. What are you doing talking to him an hour, 2 hours a week? Well, hello, welcome to, this is, no big deal. Believe me, she's all the way in the UK.
Yeah.
And the only thing we're going to do is debate tea over coffee.
And that's the other thing I can't grasp, how many, I'm going to say females tend to be the worst. Because their partners have got friends. Whoa, stop. The friends were there before you came along.
Right.
Don't expect him to dump all his friends because he is entitled to have friends.
Well, not only that, but in my opinion, I always found them as allies. Okay, especially if his friends are, the type that are like, you ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
What are you doing whining over that? You ain't leaving the house going to see her looking like that. Like, we're trying to get you married off here, dude. Get a point.
And I think that's the massive thing now. People don't get to know each other. Right. Years ago, you would go on dates with somebody. You would be going out and then go into a relationship.
Right.
And then perhaps talk about engagement. But that would take about 2 to 3 years to get to that point. Now it's a matter of months.
Or days.
Yeah.
They meet, they pack up a U-Haul, and they move in together. And you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Or
and it's crazy because you don't know each other. You probably don't even know each other's name of, full name and date of birth.
Right. Or, where they grew up, or what they like in their coffee, or if they can make coffee.
Yeah.
Those are all issues that I look at with them. It's like, what can you do? How are you, and then looking at what you can provide each other.
Yeah. Because that's a massive thing. A relationship needs to be built on. I always say, to make a relationship work, you've got to start as friends first to build the boundaries for the future.
Yes. And you've got to start the focus first. Because otherwise, you're going to have issues not only with boundaries, but you're going to have issues in communication.
Yeah.
And these are, well, I've always done that the 5th of July. Every year I, do this. And it's like, yeah, y'all guys should have like discussed that in March.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, sometimes real love is moments when it's like, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to
Yes.
bury you in the backyard underneath the rhododendron.
Yes. Oh, get out of my sight now.
Exactly. And that is real, people go, oh, you can't ever want to kill your partner. Bullshit. We don't watch true crime videos for nothing but inspiration here. We can definitely see where they messed up.
Yes. Yes. And that's what it's about as well. The arguments bring out the best in relationships.
It does. Now, I don't have many with anyone, but I promise you, if I'm having, like me and Joe's having a problem, the world knows it because we fight so limitedly. We really get to that point of like, oh no, you're going to die today.
But that's a normal relationship.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. The thing is, this is going to sound really harsh. These days, an argument is always pinpointed as a narcissistic.
Yeah, let's just stop that.
But it's true.
It's true. They are not narcissists. They are.
No, they're not.
May be self-absorbed, but they're self-absorbed because they're trying to represent their self-interest in a position.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a total difference between an argument and a relationship that works than one that's being controlled.
Yeah. Is because it's, like, no, I want to start the show at 5, not 5:30.
Yeah.
Or no, I don't want peace for dinner. It's a full out discussion. Does it look like a war sometimes? Well, yeah. That's what it's supposed to look like because you're fighting. When you fight really hard, you're fighting for the relationship. And that takes people time to figure that out too.
Yeah. The thing is, I think what people in relationships need to understand is fallouts happen in every type of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a best friend, you fall out with them. One of you got to say sorry. Your parents, you fall out with. One of you got to say sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the same thing that happens throughout life, but it clears the air and it makes things better.
It does. And, breaking the routine makes things better.
Yeah.
Because you get anchored into this. Well, he does, I cook the dinner, he does the dishes, we watch the news. This is what we do.
Yeah.
And
I often say
to
people, your relationship have become a habit.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to change those habits to make your relationship work.
Right. Or you got to see it for what it is, which can be an addiction.
Yes.
Because there are some people that are just drugs.
Yes.
To your mental health, to your physical health, to your psychological health, they are a drug. And sometimes, it's okay if that they are. It's just knowing the quantity that you're taking them in.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you've been in that type of relationship, then you get a trauma bond to that person.
Right.
And that is a hell of a thing to try and break.
It is. It's also a thing of like, huh? What do you mean a trauma bond? Well, it's because you guys have been through hell already.
Yeah. Yeah. And because you've been through it so much, you're in a toxic relationship. You're afraid to walk away. Even when you have walked away, you need that person because you need that trauma in your life because it's what you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
God, we're having an adult conversation.
Uh-huh.
My God, girls, that's the first for us, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is the first for us. And we're getting there, But and it's having those adult conversations and remembering that things don't last forever.
No.
Don't worry about 20 years from now. Worry about today. Can
Yeah.
you at least feed him dinner without putting arsenic in it?
Well, I'll think about it. Why don't you try sleeping pills first? At least you'll get a bit of peace and quiet.
Debatable, unless he's ADHD and then you give him sleeping pills and he's bouncing off the damn ceiling. All right, so let's take a break, and then
Before we take a break,
okay,
I'm going to throw something at our audience.
Okay.
What do you think makes a relationship work for you?
Right.
And we'll have the answers when we come back.
Exactly. We'll be back. Oh, give me a minute. We got to upload the break. So we'll talk for a moment.
I thought you was organized.
I thought I had it, and it's like, it's not there. The joys of a new studio, because every show gets its own studio.
And it had to be ours that fucks up.
No, it's not ours that fucks up. It's that I built this like Friday. Like, if you want to, we can talk about it.
See, Brenda prefers us over you.
Yeah.
I still want answers, though, ladies, after the break. What do you think makes a relationship work?
Yep.
I think Shannon have gone to get the saw. I think Brenda's waiting with her pitchfork. And I think Devon is stood there with a rolling pin.
Yep. They're all...
That sounds about right. Unless you stood there with a fag thinking hurry up and download.
I'm thinking, can we get this moving? Because I swear, like, there's a lot of different things that I've got loaded, and it's like, no, these are not what I want. Like, I just redone a lot of things. Here we go. We'll do this one for now.
Ready to join the Psychic Coffee Shop Network? By becoming our patron, you'll unlock exclusive content from Aeson Knight, host of the Psychic Coffee Shop podcast and co-host of the Mountain Bears podcast, alongside the tech-savvy Techie Joe. Choose from subscription options ranging from Tall $1, Grande $5, to Venti $10 per month, supporting us in covering production costs and beyond. Depending on your subscription level, enjoy discounts on private readings, free access to classes and special events, behind-the-scenes extras, and the chance to participate in station meetings. Plus, you'll get early access to new content and the opportunity to shape future topics. We'll acknowledge your support in the credits of our videos. Don't wait. Brew some magic and join us today as a valued member. Link in the show description.
All right, and we are back. I've got my water. All right, so what do y'all think is the most important parts of relationships? They'll pop it out here at us. Remember, they got a 30-second delay. What about you?
For me, it's all about compromise.
Okay.
I agree with Brenda. If there's no trust, there is no relationship.
Right.
Communication, that can be good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, if somebody talks too much, I can't cope with it.
Understandable. Like, there's a limited amount of conversation I can take in a day. It's like, go away. I don't want to hear about that.
And I think because of the job we do, we talking. If we're not talking, we typing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when I finished work, I just want to calm down and have time to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what it's like when you finish. It's like, because we got to offload.
Right. And that's when, I play my game. And see, that's where morning pages, that was probably the hardest thing to get comfortable with, was me having a morning routine that isn't like a report, because I'm working night shift.
Yeah.
So I don't really want a report of the day that I wake up to. It's like, I will talk to you once my caffeine of some form have been kicking in, and I'm not screaming and biting your head off.
With me in the mornings, you're lucky if you get one-word answers.
Yeah. Unless it's something majorly big and it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
The world will explode.
That's the good thing about the way we work. Okay, we're not in, how can I put this? We're not in a committed relationship, but we've got a friendship relationship.
Right.
And we know no matter what time of day or night, we can contact each other if there's anything wrong.
Right.
Which we have done in the past.
We have been. We've worked through a lot. And that's the way things have to do. Brenda says trust and communication. Devin says time spent together. I want to talk about that time spent together. That is without your phone in your hand. If you are doing this, that is not spending time with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've got to have your own interests. You've got to go and do your own things. Be out from underneath people's feet.
I believe in that 100%.
Right. And good communication is joint communication. It's not grandstanding. It's not just filling the air with words, because sometimes quiet is deeper communication than non-quietness.
Yeah.
Now, there's one here that I don't see mentioned, and it's not one that a lot of people, when I say it, they're going to immediately think sex. And it's actually something totally different. Intimacy. Being able to say, I really don't know how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
Being able to say, I'm a little fearful today, or I've got anxiety or stress. Having that mutual comfortability with each other.
And the thing is, when you're in a relationship,
right,
and you're really, really connected,
right,
when that person gets up in the morning, you know straight away how they're going to be throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. And how their day is already set to be.
Yeah, and I'm a great believer in that.
Yeah. I'm a great believer in letting them have their day. Like, schedule time within the day for the couple, but have your own day, have your own situation, have your own way of being that doesn't require your partner's interaction. Techie and me are at home most days, but we see very little of each other.
Because you've both got your own working space.
We've got our own working space. We got our own schedule. We got our own routine. We see each other at dinner. And people are like, oh my God, I couldn't be with my partner 24/7. Technically, we are with each other 24/7. Non-technically, we don't see that much of each other.
Yeah.
The other thing is, when you're in a situation like that, like we both work from home, we're both interactive in each other's businesses, it's great to talk business during business time. But when it's relationship time, it needs to be relationship time. And that was a hard one to crack. Because we'll be talking about the dogs and turn around and it drifts into, so how's the network today? And, how did that client meeting go? And before you know it, we're already into dealing with the business and not the relationship.
And the other thing, don't let people call judgment on your relationship. Your relationship is between two parties. That's yourself and your partner. When people start interfering, then it's time to tell them to piss off It's not their relationship.
Well, not only that, but it's time to look at them and go, okay, exactly how happy are you in your relationship?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. If you hate your husband and you done cheated 3 or 4 times on him, then don't be talking about my husbands.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and what they do or what they don't do and how they, someone, and I love them to death. They'll see one of my husbands out doing something, having a date, hanging out with friends, whatnot, and they'll beeline their butt to Walmart because they know I'm out, or beeline their butt to tell me, and it's like, I knew that. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah. The other thing to remember, and this is something I think that is really important, it's okay to offload on your friends,
Hmm.
but don't exaggerate the situation, because that's why the interference more often or not happens, because
Right.
people are worried about what you've said to them. Yeah, you argue, you scream and shout, but then
Hmm.
there's no need to go and say to somebody, yeah, we were screaming and shouting and in each other's faces. Straight
Right.
away, that raises alarm bells for the person you're talking to, and that's why
Right.
more often or not interference starts.
Well, sometimes it's family pushing in their values
Yeah,
or their relationship, and it's like, that's not mine.
and that's the hard thing with
Right.
relationships. But then Rome wasn't built in a day,
Right.
and that's why things need to be equal.
Right. And that's why you've got to sit back and go like, nope, can't do that.
Yeah,
And you got to look at them and go, that's nice, but no, I'm not going to sit there and keep tabs on my husband. He is not
yeah.
a child. If he is
There's
a
a diff-
child, then he's in the wrong relationship.
there's a difference between a relationship and control.
And you got to let it be the way it is. You got to learn to walk that. And that's the other thing, is you are not the same as your partner.
No, no.
Here's a great example. I can live on McDonald's. I can live on fast food. Techie Joe abhors it. He hates it. So you know what? I hate his pine salt. Let me think of what it actually is. It's this Italian sauce made with pine nuts and basil. Pesto. Pesto, there we go. I call it his pine salt pasta. So I'll get my McDonald's. He gets his pesto. We have a lovely dinner together.
And sorry for interrupting you. And
You're
that's the
fine.
thing, Devon. You now have to, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but you now have to work on yourself for you to reason with yourself, your own self-worth, because that person would have knocked you down so much. And it's
Hmm.
about building yourself back up, not
Right.
just to prove to him, but to show yourself that you can do it, and so that you can feel secure within yourself again. And that takes time. So don't push yourself to do that. Every step is a baby step. Those baby steps will lead you into strides, which will then lead you into jogging forward.
Hmm.
Those baby steps to start with so that you can get where you need to be.
And get into a cycle with yourself, rediscovering yourself.
Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah.
I think perhaps that's one thing we need to cover is domestic violence, relationships, and what help is out there as well.
We will put it on the list, my dear, because there's a lot of different ones out there, and there's a lot of
Yes,
self recovery from them.
yeah,
And then there's things that you, as the victim, may not even notice is still a carryover. Years after the event, years after the behavior, you still do things.
I think that because we have moved to this platform and we can talk more freely.
Yes.
I think that's something we could work with now, whereas we couldn't before.
Exactly. And we can work a lot more freer and a lot more discussions and a lot deeper discussions, guys, on things. And deeper styles, like all relationships, like I want to do an episode, and I'm going to put it into our next quarter or idea list about how to be an actual mistress.
Yes.
And how that it is not the evil of the world. Sometimes it's just how it is. Because people get, I don't know, I think they get judged a lot of times.
I'll write that down in our book so we won't forget.
Please write both of those down. Because extramarital affairs have been occurring since the day someone decided there should be a word marriage. All right. I love when she writes things down.
You know what my little books are like all over this desk.
I know. We got to keep our notes. And then, there's other things we have to do. Good point, Brenda. Good point. Yeah. And it's realizing certain things about yourself when you set out to have a relationship. What type of relationship do you like? What type of connection are you looking for? A lot of people go, oh, well, we got to move in together and we got to share a bedroom. And no, you don't. I know lovely relationships that have been going on 20, 30 years. They don't even share the same house.
Yeah, I've got friends like that. They can't live together, but they can't live without each other either.
Right. So, they take their time. They enjoy the normal things, like one cooks dinner on Fridays, one cooks dinner on Saturday. But they have their own houses, and, they have their own lives. There are couples that live in bi-coastal, bi-city, bi-country relationships. And they see each other every so often. And they're as happy as anyone else.
And I think that's a massive thing as well in a relationship.
Yeah.
It's finding out what works for you as a couple.
Right. Exactly. And finding out what needs to happen to make yourself secure.
Yeah.
And that sometimes is complicated because your security may not be the other person's security.
And that's why things have to be worked on.
Right. And, boundaries. Boundaries are highly important. Rules.
If you think about it, we put boundaries in place with friends. We put boundaries in place at workspaces. So why shouldn't they be put in place with a relationship?
A lot of times I think it's because people are afraid to sit down and go, you know what, I hate it. Or this is not, my husband doesn't do this. And a lot of people don't like that statement of, my husband doesn't do this. My husband doesn't, forget my birthday. My husband doesn't, and making those statements really has a different impact than you cannot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you're not allowed. They're hit differently in the mindset. They're hit differently in the thought process. They're hit differently in the conversational style.
And that's because the words you're using, they're similar words, but they have totally different meanings.
Yes. They have very different meanings. They have very different functionalities. In place of, expectations, clear ideas, what's expected, you know, and being able to state that.
It's okay to have expectations.
Right.
But don't expect too much at the same time.
Exactly.
When you come into a new relationship, it's about learning. It's about vibing off each other. Always expect the unexpected. That's the best way to suggest a new relationship.
Well, it's the best way to digest a new relationship, too.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely. You've got to work out that place of positioning, that, thought process, and understanding that it's a new relationship. Just because you have one date doesn't mean that it's permanent. That's just looking at the vehicle and getting it a test drive. Do you like how it handles? Do you like the way it works? Like, that's all you're doing. And people tend to think, and I call them phone book readers. Is this one my soulmate? And that one? I don't know. Have you interviewed any of them? Well, no. Well, how do you even know that you want to measure soulmate?
Oh, the one that really gets to me is, I met a boy last week. We started talking. Do he love me?
He doesn't even know you.
He don't even know your fucking surname. So how was he supposed to know if he loves you?
Exactly. It's like, really? Like, really? Like, this is where we get to. And, that's just desperation. Desperation doesn't build relationship.
No.
Those invisible freaking clocks above our heads that, you're 38 now. You got to settle down and get a retirement plan in a house with 2 dogs and a cat. And make sure that you have children. That isn't going to help you build a relationship.
No.
And for those worried about the baby making stages, there's a 72-year-old that had a child like 4 years, no, it's about 6 years now. Natural. No extras added. No medical intervention to make it happen.
Do you know, I'll be completely honest.
I
don't agree with that.
Okay, you don't agree with?
Somebody having a child at that age.
Well, I don't think it was planned.
In my mind, that child is going to suffer a huge loss at a young age.
Right.
And I just think it's cruel.
Well, and everyone would expect for a 72-year-old to not need birth control.
True.
Okay. To not need to be taking precautions.
All I could say, she's bloody lucky she still has it at 72.
Exactly. And aging populations. Let's talk aging populations. Especially here in the U.S. They think that after, certain times in their life, that, certain things are no longer possible. Well, that ain't exactly correct, people.
I think with the woman's reproductive system, they're changing so much all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Brenda, that's my sentiments exactly.
Right.
Like now they've got such a thing as premenopausal.
Mm-hmm.
That's only been in the last few years.
Yeah.
And it's like, do they actually know what goes on with a woman's body? Especially the male doctors, because they ain't got a clue.
Well, I don't think they actually have much of an idea of what's going on with female bodies, especially when they apply the same standards.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, oh, she's 72. Like, they thought she had cancer, a growth. They just, sent her for an ultrasound, and I went, how old are you again? Like, let's check your birth certificate. 72 years old. Popped up pregnant.
That must have carried some hefty risks, though.
It did. It was a high-risk pregnancy.
Yeah.
Like, she's already planned, like, child healthy, wealthy, and wise. There's already plans, because I think her daughter's in her 40s now. Like, she was one of those females that had multiple children. So there's plans to take care of the child, and
yeah,
even though she's still very vibrant, if something catastrophical would happen.
Brenda, that was a big growth, and it's one we can honestly say would drain our resources for the rest of our life.
Mm-hmm. So I always say, forget the clocks. Forget the, you're 30, it's time to get married. Maybe it isn't. Maybe you're 30 and it's time to figure out what you want.
Yeah. I was 21 when I got married. My ex-father-in-law offered me £5,000 on the day not to go through with it. I wish to fuck I had taken that money and run.
I would have.
Only lasted 7 years.
I would have asked him, so is that $5,000 still around to pay for the divorce lawyer?
Is that 5,000 in cash?
Exactly.
Oh. See, and this is why I love our shows, because we can say it as it is.
Exactly. And how it is, and how things happen, and look at things and go, well, these are situations. Also, we can do questions on this show. You guys can always ask questions. We do need your birthday. Got to keep my lawyers happy. I don't need the U.S. government on my ass.
No. We've had enough to do with them the last few weeks, if you know.
Mm-hmm.
That was a dodgy show.
Yeah, I don't know. We still don't know what happened with that show. We may never know. No one will answer questions about that show. So it is what it is.
And we're still alive and kicking, so we know we're okay.
Yes. Now, guys, Miss Hazel takes private appointments via Facebook. The link is in the description. But you can find her other places. One of the best kept secrets, if you want on-demand services, is you can find Miss Hazel over at Life Reader.
Oh yeah, I forgot that we can say that.
Yeah. She is on Fortunica for email to well, is it text? How do they get our readings over there? It's text, isn't it?
Text, yeah.
Yeah, for text readings. Where else are you?
I'm just on Life Reader mostly, because that's my busy platform.
Right.
So if you do decide to come over there, guys, for reading, be patient.
Right. Now, because new clients to Light Reader do get 4 free minutes.
They do. They do. And I'm going to say, please don't copy and paste your question.
Yeah.
Because that delays things when I'm tuning in.
It does. And it delays the system because it takes a moment to load it to us. So you're not saving time.
No, that's so true.
Because that's why people copy and paste, is they're trying to save their time, and it's like, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Yes, and you can also reach me over at aeonite.com. If you want to use a platform, you can click Trusted Partners, go through the list, choose the one best for you.
Yeah.
Yep. Or you can book appointments. Yeah. I do phone and Zoom appointments. I do email readings. And you can join the Patreon.
I do them readings as well, guys. I have a 3-strike rule with that.
Okay.
Because I was getting clients. Yes, I'm in the UK, but as you know, I'll get up to do, as I've done with yourself, I'll get up to do meetings or But when I get up and then clients don't bother coming to me, or it'll be, I'll pay you in an hour, the reading is in 2 hours. From now on, the way I do it is if you mess me about 3 times, you're blocked.
Well, I think that, I have this thing that they have to pay for the reading beforehand.
Yeah,
Most
that's what I'm
people.
doing now.
Okay.
For the simple reason, it's a business I'm running.
Exactly.
Same as yourself.
Right. And see, we will be getting Miss Hazel set up here soon to have her own platform. We've got to make sure that all the tools work over in the UK. If not, we will find tools to work in the UK.
Yeah.
And we will be getting Miss Hazel up on her independent. But for now, we're going to be using Facebook Messenger. The link is in the description. Her IMs are open, or you can reach her on Life Reader.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
And when are you over there?
Well, I'm going back over now for an hour tonight, and then I'll be hitting the hay. But because I'm in the UK, I'm just outside London, guys. I'm on between 9 and midnight every day.
Cool. And then you're also on in the mornings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's your
from
daytime
9
hours?
a.m. Yeah. And you can also, once you're a registered client on there, you can also send us emails to see what time we're on and ask us to be online at a specific time for you to come and have a reading.
Yes.
And I believe you use that service as well.
I do. I am over there. I do chat mostly over there. I don't do phone often. I will do phone if you ask me to come on the phone. And I'm still on Keen. I'm still everywhere else. Like, we have not left any platforms, just to make it clear. We haven't left any platforms. We just moved the show because we got tired of not having the ability to do everything we can.
Yeah. We weren't getting the support over there.
Right.
So it was a case of, do you know what, bugger it, let's do it on our own.
Right.
And that's what we've done.
We have. We've done the, when you don't give me the basic permissions to do what I need to do to run a show, I can't continue running a show without the support.
Yeah. And we were very, very restricted over there as well.
We were. We couldn't really promote a lot of things we were doing. We couldn't promote a lot of things that the networks were doing. They weren't telling us what they were doing. So, yeah. All right. So with that, guys, I do want to take a moment to thank our Patreons. We want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Tracy Van, Caitlin Bell, and Devin. If you want to join our baristas, feel free. Go visit pcspnetwork.com and click the barista, and it'll take you to Patreon, and you can join for as little as $1 a month, and that gives you different exclusive benefits, more content, a private Facebook group. We have, you get private content that nobody else gets, and you get to keep up with us. Plus, you get to have a say in what goes on with the network.
Definitely.
We had a station meeting when we were looking at what to do with Modern Spirit, to do with Metaphysical Today, and they were like, yeah, bring it over. Let's start it on Monday.
Yeah. And that's where I am.
Exactly. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow night with the Psychic Coffee Shop. Miss Hazel.
And I'll see you next Monday.
Yes. All right, guys. Bye, y'all.
Bye.